never like my plan to turn it into an organization,
right?
And for it to become what it is today.
I am Sammi, Samantha Williams. I am a bit of a serial entrepreneur. So I right now run two businesses. I run 628 Digital Design. That is a full service marketing agency and certified B Corp. And then I also run a nonprofit, which is CMWP Foundation, is an entrepreneurial support organization empowering Black and minority men, women, and children entrepreneurs.
My name's Keith Swaby. I'm with Hope Plumbing, originally from Waterbury, Connecticut. Our business is out of Prospect right now. We specialize in commercial, residential plumbing and HVAC services. We do everything from residential faucet repairs up to housing projects, hospitals, anything you can think of. So we really try to be that one-stop shop for the homeowner all the way up to the general contractor.
Cool. For those of you who don't know, my name is Cesar Barros, and I am the founder and CEO of the Connecticut Business Networking Association. It's CBNA for short. So CBNA, it's a professional networking and referrals organization for entrepreneurs, business professionals, and business owners who depend on word of mouth, referrals, and warm introductions to grow their business.
But yes, my name is Cesar Delgado. I'm the owner and founder, the founder and owner of Phlebstick Mobile LLC. It's a specimen collection company that started back in August of 2021. It started off locally, just providing services here in Connecticut that was able to expand throughout the New England area. And then primarily what we do is provide services like mobile phlebotomy. We also have an office in Bristol, Connecticut, 291 Queen Street, where we also provide drug screening. And those are primarily our services that generates the most revenue for the company. And not only that, we provide services for private clients, but also for assisted living and the skilled nursing home facilities as well.
So my name is Rosalee Daley, but a lot of people call me Rose, and I own the Rose Effect. And I was operating two businesses simultaneously. So I started actually in transportation logistics, and that's how I met Cecil. And at the same time, I had my consulting business where I help small business owners start and format their business, as well as become funding ready to be able to present in front of the bank, to sit down and, have those conversations where you want a $50,000, $100,000 loan. So I was doing that at the same time as running my trucking company. And trucking, I love it. I loved it. I loved everything that it taught me. But at the same time, I realized that I wanted a business that was a little bit less risky and less cash heavy. And I had that with my business consulting. So I just kind of went more all in that direction and started to do what I needed to do to sell the trucking company.
So 628 evolved from my first company, which is Sam's Word. So it's still a DBA of Sam's Word, as Cecil knows, because he does my insurance. And so I started Sam's Word many years ago as a professional writing company. And so I was writing on the side while working full time. And I was doing things like business letters and resumes. And then it started to become profitable. Well, people would ask me, how much money do I make doing the writing? And I was like, I can charge people? Yeah. And then I started charging people, and they were like, well, how much have you made? And I was like, I don't know, I never tracked it. So then I started keeping a spreadsheet, which even though I still use QuickBooks, I still rely on my spreadsheet every single day. And so I started a spreadsheet, and year over year, started making more money. And I was like, oh, maybe this should be a company. And then I had a cousin from Queens who was kind of just looking for money, and she was like, can I be your assistant? And I was like, I don't need an assistant. I work full time. She's like, no, you need an assistant. And so I hired her, paid her. She was happy. But she designed the Sam's Word logo. She built our website, started social media. And December 2015 is when I launched Sam's Word. But then over the years, I would hire women. I always hire Black women creatives. So I would hire women to help with the writing projects. And then those women had different skill sets. So we were designing logos, building websites, managing social media. And as we got better at the things we were doing, I would add it to the website. And then it was like, this doesn't look like a writing company anymore. And so in 2021, I evolved it from Sam's Word to 628 Digital Design and just rolled in the writing to our services, which is pretty much a differentiator too, because there's not a lot of creative agencies that do writing. They can build a really dope website with no words. They can make really good marketing materials. They look great, but it has the lorem ipsum on it. There's no words. And I partner with a lot of them, so that's fine too. It's worked for us. And so I took my son's birthday, because Sam's Word was, Sammy's Word, right? It was my company. But I wanted to do the same thing when I started 628, and I was like, how do I make it personable? And so his birthday is June 28th. And so I started 628 Digital Design, and we just kept going.
So, when they say you're kind of built for something, you were made to be something.
Right.
My father put a hammer in my hand when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So it really, really wasn't, not that there wasn't any other option for me. I think once you get older, you realize that there's a lot of other different things you probably could have gotten into.
Right.
But for me, it was just, I went to Caner Tech. It was a technical high school.
Right.
My father always wanted me to go to college. College for me just wasn't part of my path.
Right.
I never was good in, studying and just getting into the books and stuff. I was more a hands-on type of learner.
Yeah.
So once I went to Caner, they run you through a whole exploratory process where you go through all of the trades,
right?
Tool making. My father was a tool maker. One thing he did not want me to be was a tool maker. He told me to just pick something that had a license, So
right, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a very good point.
Yeah. So that was the main thing that he instilled in me young. Just if you're going to pick a trade, just pick something that you have a piece of paper that says you're licensed to do that trade.
Right.
Another thing he said, don't do something you could learn in the backyard. So
right.
A mechanic or something like that, So I went through the exploratory phase. I really liked plumbing and electrical were the two that I liked. It wasn't just because of the license. Those were the two that appealed to me the most.
Right.
Ended up picking plumbing, and that was kind of it. That was just where I went to. A lot of the kids that were in the trade that in the technical high school weren't going into the trades after, which I didn't understand because we just spent 4 years of our lives learning it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
And doing the schooling and everything. And if you don't go to a technical high school, it's like going to college because you have to go to either an IMTI or a Penn Foster to do it online.
Right. And
it costs like $35,000 now to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were getting it for free. Some kids didn't even try it. They were just weren't into it. So
wow.
Yeah.
So originally the purpose behind it wasn't to monetize it or to make a business out of it, right? At the time, I had a different profession. I was a sales representative, and my only objective was to be the best in my field possible.
Right.
In order to do that, I realized that I needed to start building real relationships right here in my own hometown, my own home state, and referrals is kind of the name of the game when it comes to sales or when you're an entrepreneur growing your business for the very first time.
Yep.
So I felt the need for the very first time in order to build real valuable relationships, which would naturally lead to more referrals. So when I created the CBNA, it was more of an opportunity that I created for myself in order to start building relationships and systematize it so that I got referrals on a regular basis. Right. So it came more so from a personal need. I looked at other networking groups. Some were way too expensive. Others, they had networking events and meetings that just didn't fit within my time. Right.
Yep.
Cause I worked long hours. It was like 10-hour days because, a lot of what I did was cold calling. So I did like 200, 300 cold calls every single day.
Right.
And that left me with very little time to do anything else.
Yeah.
So I needed a networking group that, number one, was affordable, right? Met my budget because I was 100% on, commission. And then number two, allowed me to kind of network whenever I felt like I had the time, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't find that anywhere. So I decided to just build my own.
Right.
And it started as just a small online group. And then from there, it started to grow. People inside started to refer, more people to join the group. And within 6 months, we had about 200 and 200 plus members.
Right.
And then a lot of the members were requesting that I host networking events.
Right.
So that was a first evolution from online only group to like a hybrid organization.
Right.
So I started hosting events and they started becoming very effective at helping the people inside get more ROI, close business. And from there, due to a lot of the feedback we were getting from the members, we started to incorporate like meeting up at coffee shops.
Right.
And then from there, we developed leads and referrals groups.
Right.
So it was never like my plan to turn it into an organization.
Right.
And for it to become what it is today. But it just naturally snowballed into something bigger. Right. And I think the majority of it was just our members providing feedback and just being excited. I got super excited about it. I was very passionate about growing the community to the point where I left my other profession to do this full time.
Wow.
What made me want to get into this business was that initially I started my career in healthcare about approximately like 10 years ago. And I was a certified nurse's aide at that time. And I had a desire to become a registered nurse. And to get like my bachelor's, my BSN in nursing. But due to certain circumstances that took place from the time that when I was trying to pursue it, it just didn't happen. But I know that ultimately the goal was for me to become an entrepreneur. And because my background was already in healthcare, I started asking myself, what are some of the services that's needed? And that's when I started doing my research about mobile phlebotomy. And so I said, I want to give this a shot. So, I got my certification in 2019. I started working for different companies like Trident Care, Quest Diagnostics. Then from Quest, I went to Hartford Hospital. From Hartford Hospital, I went to UConn to work for the state. And then with all of the combined experience that I was able to acquire for working these jobs, I was able to put that to use when I went independent.
So we are a boutique advisory firm. And again, I provide a lot of technical assistance, workshop trainings, and we help businesses set their operation structure up.
Okay.
So I realized that from sitting on one side of the table of working in the bank, when my customers used to come to me, they weren't always ready. They were missing documents. They didn't have their operating agreements. They were missing details.
Right.
So I took that knowledge and I packaged it up. And that's what I kind of offer in the World's Effect. But it took a life of its own because a lot of people know me for funding. The need was our people were missing key information and we were getting turned down. We were being disappointed. And I felt like nobody was really filling those gaps. I know there were a lot of different cohorts, but I feel like they were just glossing over the level and they weren't really doing that deep dive and having those tough conversations that we needed as business owners to actually succeed. Like, you have to tell me, if I go into this bank and I possibly say the wrong thing because I'm not educated enough, I can get denied. And I needed that loan to actually, pay payroll or move something forward. So we were missing those conversations. And I was like, I need to fill those gaps. And I did that.